Hi crafters, this is Karen from stampyourway.blogspot.com. Today I'm going to show you a quick decorating idea for Halloween. As many of us are thinking up costumes for our kids, grandkids, or ourselves, how about some costumes for your household picture frames? They can be dressed up quickly and easily using cardstock from the Witch's Brew Designer Series paper pack and some of the glittered cutouts and buttons from the Simply Created Halloween Banner Accessory Kit. So let's get started. I'll show you how I've decorated my frames, and then you can choose to decorate them like mine or stamp it your way and decorate it your way. Show you real quick how I made these eyes for the bat. I just took some of the rhinestones, colored them with red permanent marker. Then I took a little glue dot, rolled it in a ball, and adhered it to the back of the rhinestone. And now I can stick it right on my bat. And the glue dot is going to allow it to stay and stick much better than the adhesive that comes with the rhinestone. And that's because in this particular case we're adhering to glitter. And the glitter, the other adhesive doesn't stick very well to it. So just to keep your eyes on, that's how I did it. So first I wanted to embellish these glittered cutouts that came with the kit. And as you can see with this one, with the spider web, I used glue dots to adhere the smaller summer starfruit button inside the center of the black faceted button, and then another glue dot to adhere it onto the spider web. Super cute. And I got that idea from inside the instructions for the Simply Created Halloween Banner Kit. As you can see right here, that's what they're doing with the spider web on that last pennant of the banner. And then I wanted to decorate my skull here. And on one side I'm going to put this great big faceted black button. And I'm just using glue dots, they're already on here. And then the other eye. See, you can see that. And then I would just use glue dots. I'm going to put this skull, I think, over here in this corner, and this bat up here in this corner, and the spider web up here on this frame. And I think I'm going to make a smaller size rosette. I have one rosette made, but it's a little big for this frame. I could put this one here. Oh, maybe I can just do that. Well, you'll see in the final result. Okay, now to measure the paper cardstock for my matte frame, basically I just lined up my frame using the dots that's already on this pattern paper. And as you can see, I've got about 2 rows of dots here, 2 rows of dots here, so that tells me I'm going to go down about the same amount. So I'm going to make a little tick mark here, and also 2 dots over right about here. And that'll tell me where I need to cut my paper. I'm going to basically use this edge, but I need to just know how much to cut over here. Okay, now I have my paper trimmer out. I'm going to trim this up. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but right here is where my tick mark is, and I'm going to line that up right on the cutting channel. It's like a little groove here. And of course make sure my paper is aligned with these paper guides. Move my scoring blade out of the way. And I'm going to cut this right across. And now I'm going to find my tick mark over here, which is right here. Line that one up. Again, making sure my paper's along the guides. And cut. There we go. Okay, now I've basically flipped my paper over because this is the side that I want showing on my mat. And I'm going to put my mat down, center it, and then I'm going to, since this is black, I'm going to use my white pen this time, white gel pen, and I'm going to mark right in the corners. Just put a little dot, and that'll tell me where to, for alignment, where my corners of my mat will be, so that way I know how to cut this out next. Okay, now I just drew some lines. I basically lined up my ruler between the two dots that I made corner to corner, and with my gel pen I just drew some lines. And that's going to tell me where to cut. And I've got my cutting mat out here, and just basically a razor blade type tool. And I'm just going to make some slits in my paper. Yeah, that's good. I'm not going all the way across. I just need it to, because I want to be able to fold this back. I'll do that on all four sides. And now I'm just going to stick my scissors in between where I have that slit, and then cut across to the next one so that I have sort of like a side flip like this. And I'm going to do the same thing, just cutting up to each of those cut lines that I made. There we go. I'll just cut this center. There, so see, now I have this cut out, and I'll probably still need to trim some of this off, because as you can see, the mat is only so wide, and folding these sides up, and the outside and the inside would overlap. So, but I'll worry about trimming that when I get to this next step. Okay, and what I like to do is put a little bit of temporary adhesive on my mat so it doesn't wiggle on me, and I'm going to put it face down onto the wrong side of my cardstock, and I'm going to use those little white dots in the corners as my guide, so I know where I had it lined up originally. Let's give that a little press. And now these corners is what's going to get adhered up. So first I'm just going to fold this up and basically create sort of like my own little score line here. Do that on all four sides. Okay, now as you can see, folding up each of the four corners each of the four sides, in the corners, it's going to be a little bit bulky. So what I like to do is lay this out flat and just straight across from, I have these little score marks now from where I folded it up. From corner to corner, from score mark to score mark, I just like to cut that little triangle out to reduce the bulk. Then when I fold it up, see, it's a little bit more flat. And I'll do that also to all four sides. Okay, now that I have, as you can see, I put some sticky strip all the way around. And I also put just a little piece in the corners on two of the opposite sides. So that way when it folds up over, it'll be able to adhere in these corners as well. So now I'm just going to pull out the sticky strip and fold up my sides. I think I'm going to do the bottom and top first. Okay, now I've got all the outsides folded up, and for the inside I've trimmed this down a little bit because it was a little bit longer, and that way it's not, when I fold it up, it's not going to be overhanging from the other side of my mat. I also adhered some sticky strip to the back side of these inside flaps, rather than if I'd put it here on the mat, which was fine on the outer. If I did that, then because as you can see, I might have tape sticking out on the corners, and then that would be, you know, constantly something sticky. It would be sticking inside my picture frame. So that's why I put the sticky strip this way, so that way it's only going to be on the area that's needed. I also, with my scissors, clipped right into these corners to make sure I was right up to the corner on each side, and that way when I fold this up, it's not going to cause it to tear in those corners. So then I also folded these, did like a pre-fold as before, and now I'm ready to fold up my inner sides, I guess you can call it, inner flaps. And this sticky strip tape is like the best for this types of projects because it's super sticky. Once it's down, it's permanent. It's not going anywhere. If you were to use like any type of liquid glue, then you'd have to, press and hold it, because it would keep pulling up until the glue is ready to, until the glue dried. So you have to keep holding it. Even with hot glue it even adds a little bit of bulk, where this keeps it nice and flat. And there you have it. Let me zoom out so you can see. And there you have it. Finished Designer Series paper framed photo mat. So here are a couple of my completed frames. As you can see, the covered mat that you just saw me create functions beautifully in my 5x7 frame. The prints in each frame are 4x6 sized. So this decorative mat allows me to still use the smaller 4x6 print in my larger 5x7 frame. And here, real quickly, again, is that print sheet from the Witch's Brew Designer Series paper pack. And each of these these prints on these two columns is what I used for these frames. They're 4x6, all the way from choke cherries all the way down to contaminated apples I used for the one frame. And on the other one, I used from this pumpkin design all the way down through the spider web. And that's how I filled those frames. Very quickly, I just wanted to show you real quick this other frame. This is of my baby boy. Now he's 5 years old, but this was him on his very first trick-or-treat outing. And as you can see right here, he got a rock, just like good old Charlie Brown. He got a rock. And for this frame, as you can see, I just created another rosette, just like you may have seen me do on another blog post and video tutorial, the Simply Created Halloween banner kit. In that, I show how to make these rosettes. And what's really cool is, because the Designer Series paper is double-sided, it even looks good from the back. So I don't even mind displaying this frame somewhere where you'll be able to see it from front end. But for more details, how to do that rosette and all the instructions for these frames and shopping list and additional pictures, everything can be found on my blog at stampyourway.blogspot.com. And please don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel and to my blog so you won't miss another episode of Stamp Your Way. Happy hunting!